All right, thank you so much for joining, guys. And today is September 25th, 2024. This meeting is for our real estate agents for LJ Realty Team. And let's start with our interest rates. Interest rates are coming down week after week, and this is really a positive news for all of us as real estate agents. The interest rates, according to Freddie Mac, they're hovering around 6.09 as of last week. And for 15 year, there's not a lot of people that go with 15 years, but if your client can afford it, look at the interest rates. They're in low fives now. So it's a really good news for majority of us. When your client asks you now, right, that hey, Fed did a rate cut of 50 basis points on last Wednesday, and since last Wednesday, the interest rates did not come down. Most people that I was talking to, they said, hey, Lucky, if the interest rates were at 6.5, we were expecting 6 right now, not 6.18, or maybe 5.75. One person said maybe we should be around 5.5. So I was explaining to them, it's like, hey, it's not what the Fed is saying on that particular date that the interest rates drop. Interest rates, they go up and down on daily basis based on mortgage bonds. So mortgage bonds, right? This is where people are investing into mortgage bonds for 30 year, 15 years, and those rates they change on daily basis. And that bond market already reacted few weeks back. Why did they react few weeks back prior to Fed actually doing the rate cut? Because of your inflation data, which we go through every week. So inflation data was already coming down. So the bond market already knows, hey, the interest rates, the rate is going to happen in next 6 weeks or so, and we're going to do a bond rate cut now. So they look at inflation data, they look at your unemployment data, same data that the Fed is looking at. But Fed is meeting every 6 week, but not your bond market. Bond market is, taking action on daily basis. So since then, since Wednesday, a lot of people were thinking that, hey, the interest rate is going to be below 5% or, in fives, but that's not the case. So right now we are sitting around 6.18. We are expecting more rate cuts down the line, but just know that hey, the bond market already reacted prior to the Fed rate cut. So the next time the Fed meets is going to be in next 6 weeks, and if they do another rate cut of 25 basis points, maybe we'll see interest rates come down to even high fives. Okay, high fives is going to be the norm for next 6 to 8 months. It might be for longer, so your client might be getting an interest rate of 5.25, 5.5, 5.75, or 5.8. It's going to be in fives. Okay, so if your client is going with the FHA loan is going to give you even a lower interest rate of 5.75. Is there any cash to that? Yes, there's an upfront cost for 1.75% for your FHA, and your mortgage insurance does not go away if you put down less than 10% for your FHAs. So there are some pros and cons when your client is going to be locking in or going with the loan program, depending on their guidelines. Okay. This is a real example for one of our clients where their household income was $98,000. They had $65,000 down payment. They took care of their debt. They just had a little bit of debt, which was around $100 per month. And the interest rate 6.18, $5,000 property taxes, $1,500 mortgage, property insurance. At 49% ratio, they can afford to buy a house for $614,000. They purchased it around 580, a smaller, cozy property. So again, as a real estate agent, we don't know what your client's budget is. They need to speak with the loan officer, see what the budget is, and then you want to start showing them properties. Can you show them many properties before the written agreements? Absolutely not. And we're going to go that in a little bit. Okay. Couple of things in the news. One is the home prices. So the data or the headlines that you guys will see for for these headlines is going to be for July. We are already in September. So we're seeing that in July, the home prices reach a new record high. So we know that the prices were really skyrocketed. Even if the prices come down, and they are expecting that the prices should not increase as much as they were. But if there's enough demand for it, if the interest rates come down for it and more buyers are coming in, the prices will still go up. But even if they come down, as a real estate agent, I don't care. Our job is to, hey, find your guys or you find your buyers a property at a reasonable price. Right? You're doing the research for them. You're doing, you have many, many different tools, RPR, you have your MLS, you have all the tools, and you want to bring the price down, it's fine, right? But just know when you look at these headlines are usually a month or two behind because that's what the data is collected from. Okay? As mortgage rates dip, giving United States home buyers over $200,000 additional spending power. So your buying power is simply increasing. As we mentioned, there's nothing else changing in the household except for the interest rates. The income, the down payment, their credit scores, they're pretty much steady, whatever that condition is. But since the over every 6 weeks, the interest rates are coming down, they can afford a bigger property or better property depending on their situation just because the interest rates are coming down. And so they're motivated. If they're motivated, our real estate agent should be motivated as well. Okay. And this is the first time happening since 2020. So this is the first time we had a rate cut in 4 years. So we want to make sure if your clients can afford a bigger property, go for it. Okay. And we're giving you an example for buying power. If someone is buying or getting a loan for $600,000 here, compared to 6.18 rate, which is today's average, compared to 6.8%, which was not that too long ago, maybe a few weeks back. Now their affordability went up. Same is going to be the same mortgage of $3,600, but before they could have gotten a loan for $562,000, and today's market they can get a loan for $600,000. There's a huge difference when someone is saying, "Hey, I'm looking for 3 bedrooms versus a 4 bedrooms," or "I'm looking for a 30 by 100 lot size. Maybe I can find 40 by 100 lot size." Right? We can increase those budget because they can afford a little bit bigger now. Okay. Next is that you want to be that person that's guiding your clients, right? You're the one that they're looking up to. It's like, hey, this person have closed enough deals. This person knows ins and outs, and you want to tell them, hey, I don't care if you're working with our loan officers at LJ Mortgage Team or if you're working with Citibank, Chase Bank, you need to ask these questions to your loan officer. One is that what type of mortgage is best for me? Yes, I know there's FHA, there's conventional, there's QMs, non-QMs. If you guys don't know these terms, let's learn them. You want to make sure that you guys are educated. So when your client is saying, hey, I might be going with a non-QM, you need to know what non-QM means. Okay. And how much do I need to put down? Some people have no clue about the closing cost, right? Simply they have a down payment and they are very surprised that, hey, there's closing cost. So you need to make sure that they have enough down payment and they know a breakdown of the closing cost. Every lender is going to be a little bit different. That's the reason you need to shop around or tell them to shop around so they know, hey, your down payment is whatever you're putting towards your house. Closing cost is your fees. I do want you to mention the word fees when it comes to closing costs because those closing costs are not coming back to them, right? Once they pay it, that's done. But your down payment, that is the money that you put in your house. So that is already there as equity. Whenever they sell it, they're going to get that back, but not their closing costs. So go with at least 2 or 3 different loan officers and see what they will offer them. And another thing is that could I make extra payments towards the mortgage without any penalties? Right? Majority of the first-time home buyers, when they go with an FHA loan or conventional loan, there should be no prepayment penalties or any penalties to make your mortgage pay off quicker. Right? You want to hit the principal faster. You want to make extra payments. It could be in a lump sum. It could be on a monthly basis. Maybe it could be only $50 per month. Whatever the case is, they need to find out from their lender, and you want to be that guide for them. Okay. And we're not as, you guys are real estate agents. So you guys don't need to know all the requirement for the loans, but have an idea, right? Have an idea that, hey, this is the a minimum credit scores that I need to make sure that my client have. So if it's a conventional loan that they're going with, the credit scores is 620. We need 620 or more. If you're buying a luxury property, right? Maybe they're going with the $1 million single family house in Queens or in Long Island, then they might need to get a jumbo loan. Jumbo loan, just as the word mentioned, is a bigger loan. is out of the conventional conforming limits, so it's going to be a jumbo loan. But since you're borrowing more money, what does the lender want? The lender wants to make sure that your credit scores are even better than 620, so they want at least 700 for that. And if you're going to go with FHA, FHA allows you to go as low as 500 with 10% down payment, or 580 with 3.5% down payment. Okay, so if your borrower or your client has low credit scores, tell them work on your credit score as much as possible. It will give you more benefit when you're locking in your rate or going with one program compared to another. Okay, so the numbers to remember: 580 for FHA, 620 for conventional, or 700 for jumbo. Okay, guys, anytime you guys have any questions, just unmute yourself and just speak up, right? So Hassana and I, we were going through this a few days ago, which I want to go over with you guys. You guys want to use KV Core, right, as a platform. And when you go to listings, you want to be able to create filters. So within a few seconds, I can see, hey, which properties have open houses this weekend. So I created a filter for that. Hey, I just want, with one click, I just want to see if there's any new properties or any properties that have open house coming up. Next, I saved one more called Lucky's Market. So you guys can do it for Carvin's Market, Guggen's Market, right? Whatever market you guys are serving. It could be different, 3 or 4 different areas, and you guys can save a filter for that, which I'm going to show you. I saved one for commercial properties just in Queens. I want to see all the properties that are available just in Queens and that are commercial. Then I want to see another one that's going to be commercial, but only in Nassau. So you guys already aware that we are looking for a property or to move or expand our business in Long Island. So if you guys find any off-market property there or anything on the market, just send me a message. There's a good chance that I have already beat you to this because I'm paying attention to LoopNet on daily basis, sometimes a couple of times a day. And same thing with this, I'm clicking on Nassau commercial listings and seeing all the properties that are available. So you guys should be doing the same thing. Okay. I created one filter called two family, Queen and Nassau. I just want to see all the two families that are available in Queens or Nassau, and same thing for one family. Okay. You guys don't have to follow these exact models, but you guys can modify in your own way. Hey, I need to track this, but with the system, I can actually pay attention to on a daily basis with just one click. Okay. So how do we do this? So once I'm in KV Core here, I want to click on listings. So you guys can see if I want to see open houses, I want to click on this. I can see here in Elmont, there's a property for $899 with 7 bedrooms, 4 baths, and there's an open house. If I click on it, I know exactly when the open house is. It's on the 28th between 1 and 4. Okay. If I want to see properties for commercial in Nassau, this is the latest one. Okay, same thing for two family. So how do we do this? And this has nothing to do with clients. When we're in their listings, these filters have nothing to do with clients. This is for your own good. This is for your own research, right? And we should be starting our day with this first. We want to know what is going on in the market. So under listings, and you can just click on it one time and it will show you all the available listings. And you can even see that some of these dates on the future. That means these are coming soon properties. They are not on the market yet. So this one is coming on October 7th, October 6th. So you guys can see is in the future. That's even a positive thing. You're beating all the other apps and you're sending these messages to your client. Hey, there's a new property coming in Elmont. It's not on the market yet. It's going to be coming on October 7th, and you want to take some action on that. So how do we actually create these? You want to click on apply filter or filters applied and make any changes you guys want. You can draw on map. Hey, I want to cover this area. Okay, apply selection. If you want to put in the price, if you want to put the bedrooms, you're basically doing an alert for yourself. And once you have done that, you're going to click on apply filters, or you can click on save filter. Once you save it, you can name it whatever you want. and you want to leave this pin the filter as a quick link to the top of the CRM. So as what I mentioned on top there. Okay. So if you have not done this, highly recommend that every one of us set up these filters to make our life a little bit easier. If for any reason, if you have not logged into KV Core in the last 90 days, it automatically deactivates you. So you would have to send me a message and we can definitely put you back. But just know that if you're not logging in for 90 days, how are you really helping out your clients? How are you really paying attention to the market if you're not even logging in into your main CRM system that's supposed to help you, fast track this process. Okay. Any questions on this, guys? Okay. So KV Core, pretty powerful system. Please use it. Okay. So as a real estate agent, right, how could I make a good living as a realtor? Right, our job is not to just attend meetings. I really appreciate your time. You guys attending. I see similar faces on regular basis, and I get some messages later on that I'm only able to watch it later. So if you're watching this later, thank you for that. But we want to make sure that we can make a good living out of this. We don't want to just pay the MLS fees. We want to make sure that there's a good amount of money coming in because you're working as a real estate agent. So number one is that you want to specialize in a niche, right? So you could be a luxury homes, it could be first-time home buyers, it could be rentals, it could be investors, or it could be a one particular area. We have few agents who are only targeting like two or three different areas: Elmont, Valley Stream, and Franklin Square. Some of them are on Hicksville side, right? Some of them are in Brooklyn side. Some of them are just in South Ocean Park, Richmond Hill. You need to pick your area and you need to become an expert in that area. Okay. And if you say, hey, I want to look to flip properties with the investors, then you need to make sure you're attending or paying attention to all the new property that are coming in for the investors. That's going to be a potential flip. So as I mentioned, for your filters, I would create one filter just for the investors. So I want to see all the property that are available in those same areas that I mentioned, but with a lower price range, right? Those are beat up properties that needs work, and I want to present those to my investors, right? So you really want to specialize in something. You could do more. You could do more, but you need to be expert in one thing that you could really going to be like, hey, this is where I'm bringing most of my commission from. Okay. So I want to give you an example for like our agent Jennifer. From day one, she only have done rentals. She does have a sidekick, or what, not sidekick, but another helper, which is her husband Ravi, and he specializes in first-time home buyers. Majority of the property that he has sold with us are single-family first-time home buyers, right? And then we have our agents like Paul and agents like Mr. Ali here, who are focusing on listings. Hey, if the buyers come to me, I'm not saying no. I'm showing them properties, but my main focus is listings. I want to be a listing agent. Okay. So you guys need to pick out, hey, I really need to focus on this. It could be commercial. We have our agent AP. He really focuses on with investors, and he's getting properties through investors and to flip properties. And he has one investor who have done like three or four transactions with him already. So we need to focus on that particular area that you want to be an expert in. Okay. You want to leverage your referrals and repeat business, right? You want a long-term relationship with your clients and you want to gain referrals, repeat business. Right? The main thing is providing great customer service. That's one. Right? We are the middleman. We don't have a house to sell. It's someone else's house. We are providing a service. How could your client get this property? Right? That's what we want to focus on. And we want to give the best service possible. The biggest thing is your phone. If you're able to pick up your phone, right? If the office calls you, your client calls you, and you're not picking up your phone call versus you're picking up right away, there's a big difference. Okay. And you want to stay in touch with your past clients. If you have closed a deal in the last 30 days, 60 days, a year, call those clients. Hey, I know obviously we bought a new house together. How's the house going? Is everything good? Do you have any issues? 99% of the time, there's no issues. If there is an issue, find out and see if you can be that help. If you can, ask me for that. The main thing is that we want to connect with them and see if they have any issues. If not, then you ask for referrals. Hey, do you know anybody that's buying or selling? Do you think that one of your family member wants to move in around your area? In the last couple of years, we have seen so many people go from Queens to Long Island just because of the area. Hey, I'm getting a bigger house, my family's there, now I want to move there too. So you want to be part of those transactions, guys. Okay, as we mentioned, you want to work with investors. Why? Because they give you repeat business. Mostly you can get two transactions out of them. You're buying the property for them, they're fixing it up, and then they want to sell it with you. And then this can lead into multiple transactions with the same client. I gave you an example for AP, and that's exactly what is happening with them. Okay. And if we are not managing our time, guys, we're not closing, right? I understand that we all have a lot of expenses throughout the month, and it's hard to just focus on real estate. Nobody's telling you to drop your first main job or primary job. You should be able to transition from that to a real estate agent if you really focus on it. But you need to really plan your day. Doesn't matter if you're using one of those planners, if you're using your own calendar, use any tool. As long as you're using that tool consistently on a regular basis, you should see results. You want to follow up with your clients, and then you want to be on time with the showing. And if you feel like, we few of our clients or agents, they call, hey, I'm at the showing here, but there's a Sentry key lock box, right? If there's a Sentry lock there, then you need to have their service, right? If you're serious about real estate, you need to pay that $125 per year to get that service. Okay. So you need to make sure that, hey, if you are, showing, you want to be there on time. If the Sentry key lock there, make sure you have that service. Be a professional for your client, guys. Okay. And next is your commission. When you're talking to a listing agent, I don't care what number they tell you. If you have an agreement with your client for X amount and you want to recoup all of that from the listing agent, hey, I have a solid client. I know you're offering me 1%, but I have an agreement for 2% here. Can we work with something? Maybe it's not going to be full 2%, but maybe he can go from 1 to 1.5%, right? Everything is negotiable. If you don't ask, you don't get. So if you do ask, you probably can get something. It won't happen every time, but it can happen enough where your commission levels are going up because you're asking for it. So don't just assume that they're telling you, hey, 1% or X amount, that's the final one. Tell him, hey, I have a solid client, but he just can't afford to pay me from his pocket. We can put in an offer. I just want to make sure that you're telling me 1%. Can we go a bit higher? Negotiate for your higher commission. Okay. And you want to network with other professionals. I get this all the time. Hey, should I be talking to other brokers? I know we have a mortgage team here. Should I be talking to other inspectors or attorneys? Of course. You should be, yourself, you're an independent contractor. You need to be connecting with a lot of different people. In that sense, maybe eventually you want to have enough database where mortgage brokers are saying, hey, I have a client in this area. Can you help them out? Or an inspector can do the same for you where you're giving them business, maybe they can give you business as well. We're doing one of the short sales where attorney is giving us the lead because we're giving them leads as well, right? Just make sure that you are telling them upfront, hey, I'm not asking for any kickbacks. I'm not able to give you anything. I'm not asking you to get anything from your end. All we can do is to provide great customer service to our client so they can give us repeat business and we can grow our business. We don't need to give each other kickbacks for anything. Okay. So build as many relationships as possible with mortgage brokers, inspectors, attorneys, and other real estate professionals. Doesn't matter if they're from Keller Williams, from EXP, from other companies out there. You guys are all independent contractors, right? We know what we have to offer at LJ compared to others. You guys can compare that too, but the main thing is just working with other clients and other real estate professionals out there. Okay. And if you're not following up, guys, consistently, and your client retention is not going to be there. So you want to follow up with them much as possible, and you want to stay on top of their mind, like, hey, this person is selling my house or have sold my house, and I want to make sure that I can give them some business. How they're going to remember you? By you telling them, hey, I'm still here. I'm waiting for you. I've sold your house, or I help you buy the house. Get me some referrals out of that. Okay, and you could really work smarter, not harder. We have so many agents. I go through the when I go through one-on-one meeting with them, right? Or training with them, and sometimes they have worked with other agencies before or other brokerages, and they're saying, "Hey, I have a client. I want to follow up with them. Today, I'm checking on MLS status. Hey, this is the property. The next day, I'm doing the same exact thing." I think that's working harder, starting from scratch, and you don't know. But if you're using your KV core on a regular basis, you can really work smarter with that. Your goal should be, hey, I want to prospect. I want to get new leads. I can't rely on just on the office leads or Zillow leads or this. I really need to get out there and actually prospect. I want to close deals and I want to work with serious buyers and sellers. How do you know if they're serious? You know if they're serious if they're, signing your written agreement. They are serious if they're going to be writing that or they're going to be signing that. If they won't sign your agreement, they're simply not serious. I wouldn't go run after them after you have gave your presentation and all that. I would not be running after them like crazy. I would follow up with them, but I wouldn't beg for their business because they're not ready yet. I want to focus on the people that's going to be ready to buy or sell today. Okay. All right, guys. Any questions or concerns so far? Okay. Next, guys, I'm going to show you how we get access to this. Some of you guys already sent me a message last week. Hey, you said go to eltos.com and I'm not able to get this data, so I'm going to show you that. So if your client asks you or if you're about to put in an offer for any property out there, right, I highly recommend that you check out Eltos and see how's the market there and send them a screenshot just like how we would for our geo data or any other comps out there. So simply put, if it's Great Neck, to give you an example, has a slightly seller's advantage. Compare that to your Queens Village, it's a really strong seller's market, right? If it's a strong seller's market, then your offer needs to be strong as well because your seller or that particular seller has enough other offers or will be able to sell that house quickly because it's a seller's strong market there. Okay, so how do you get access to this? First, you want to write down this URL, right? We will share these slides with you guys later. So it's eltosresearch.com/market_reports. Okay, if you try to go to eltos.com or eltos anything, it will not give you this page. You actually have to type this in. Once you type that in, you're going to see a page like this. It's asking you to log in. You don't have to log in. There's no login needed for this. You're going to click on run a report. Once you see that, you want to type in or search any area. It could be a zip code, it could be a city, and just type in and hit search. And you will see a pop-up box if there's multiple locations, and you select yours, and you will see the data like this. One is that you will see what is the medium list price in that area. You will see if it's a strong seller's market or buyer's market, and you will see more real-time market profile for that particular area. How long does it stay on the market for? What is it? How much is it per square foot in that area? Right? Everything is listed there. So there's going to be an additional tool for you guys to use for every time you have an offer. Let me go check out Altos and see how's that market there. Yeah, yeah, yes. Altos. Yes, /market_reports. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. It's a really solid program, guys, and I'm using it on weekly basis for our research. But anytime someone asks me, hey, how's the market there? Just simply going there, typing it in. Hey, it's a buyer's market, seller's market. Different areas will surprise you. So even after today's meeting, I highly recommend that you guys go check out this website and just type in different areas, so the areas that you live in, nearby areas, the areas that you have service, or that you're in the market for. Okay. Next, guys, we want to focus on for sale by owners. Sometimes they have a sign like this, and the sign is half broken. For sale by owner, right? You want to take some action, and I want to go through a couple of different scripts. How do you talk to these people, right? These guys are saying, the homeowners are basically saying that, hey, I don't need Hassan, I don't need Sheetal, I don't need Sheldon. I don't need any of the realtors. I can do a better job than you guys. right? Some of them think that, hey, these realtors already have another job and they're using their real estate as a sidekick. So how are they going to help me out? Right? Some of the owners will simply say, hey, are you a full-time real estate agent? Then I will give you the listing. If you're going to be working 9 to 5, I'm not going to give you the listing because you have the same schedule as me. And I know that we're not going to get anything done. So how do we take some action on this? So one is that when you're talking to them, right, this could be on the phone because you just see that sign and it has the number there. You can tell them, hello, this is Lucky with LJ Realty Team. Right, I'm reaching out to you because I like to stay informed about all the homes on the market, not just the ones that's listed on MLS. Right, I have seen it over and over again, even just in South Ocean Park, just nearby areas here where we have a for sale by owner sign. Within a week or two, we see another company or agencies sign there. Why? Because the real estate agent have took those steps and called that owner and made that move. Okay, so you want to ask them, hey, if you don't mind me asking, where are you planning to move once you sell this house? Well, you want to break that ice with them. You want to tell them, hey, I just want to see what's on the market because I have buyers, right? So I want to be up to date with this. And how soon do you need to be settled into the new place? So we're trying to figure out how quickly does he want to sell. If he has no rush or she has no rush, then maybe it can sit on the market for a longer time, right? Are you open to adjusting your price if a serious buyer comes along? Sometimes they don't want to hire you. They say, "Hey, my property is worth $800,000. I'm asking for $800,000. Do you have any buyers?" Then you can negotiate. Again, you're going from level 1 to level 2 just by calling them. Okay? What kind of market strategies are you using to attract buyers? Usually is nothing. I have nothing. I'm a first time, I'm a seller. I just put up a sign there. That is my strategy. I have a for sale by sign out there, right? So you want to ask these questions to them and see what they say. And they say, hey, what price are you currently asking for your property? $800,000. How did you determine that price? Hey, I don't know. I just think that that's a good number. So you're going to say, how long have you been working on selling your home? You're asking for $800,000. How long has it been on the market for? I just saw the sign today. He might say, hey, I put it up last week, or it could be a month ago. Figure that out. Okay. And you just want to say, hey, I like to stop by. You want to show them, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I have buyers. I want to stop by. Give them two time frames. Hey, would 3 or 4 p.m. work better for you? You want to get inside. You want to see that property as soon as possible. Even if you don't have as many clients as you would think or you would want, you just go in there, see the property, and see how you can help them out. Okay. Another one could be, hello, thanks for taking my call. My name is Lucky with LJ Realty Team. I'm just curious, when you sell your home, where are you planning to move? Again, you're breaking the ice with them. Okay. And then some of these guys will say, hey, there are usually 3 P's that the agents are using. They're placing a sign in the yard, they're putting on MLS, and then they're praying for someone to actually sell the property. They're praying for a buyer agent to come along and do it. But tell them, hey, I'm going to use the fourth P, which is I'm going to proactively prospect to find your buyers, right? For my sellers, which I'm going to be doing for you as well. Okay. And then next again is like, hey, once you sell this house, where are you going to be moving to? Okay. Another one is that you want to determine is like, how did you determine the price? They just think that $800,000 just because that's what they think is worth. How about you guys? We all have tools. You want to show them, hey, there was another property sold up the block for 750. Hey, another one sold for $1 million. What is the difference? What is the difference between 750 versus $1 million? There's a huge difference in price gap. Let's find out. We want to make sure you're comparing apples to apple, right? The $1 million might be a two family, a mother daughter property, a bigger lot size compared to yours. You want to compare apples to apple and give them all the guidelines. Like, hey, this is, or give them all the comparisons. So you want to tell them, hey, I'm comparing your property. This is a single family. This is 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, nice basement. Let's compare that particular property with other ones that have been sold in your area, right? So this way we are very realistic when it comes to home prices. I was just having a conversation with Mr. Ali a few days ago. He said, "Hey, I went to a couple of listings where, the sellers are not realistic with their price, and he doesn't want to waste their time or his." And I respect that. I think we should always be on that professional level. Hey, let's be realistic. We had someone where we think that the home price should be valued around $1 million, and they're asking for $1.3 million, right? Huge gap. There needs to be realistic. So when we're putting on the market, we can sell it quickly. Okay. And how many times should you follow up with this owner? Does anybody want to take a guess? What the research show? How many times should we follow up with them? One time, two times? What do you think? Anyone? If you see a for sale by owner, he didn't pick up, or he picked up one time, you didn't get a good conversation, how many times should you follow up with him? Anyone? Three is a good number, but five could be better. Five seems like we are annoying them, but that's what the research show. You wanna follow until you set a listing appointment, or at least discover, what's going on. At least get into the house, right? If it's three, that's good. That's a better than two or one. But we want to make sure that we're consistent. When we look at a sign, like, hey, maybe he will not pick up or she will not pick up my call. Maybe they're at work right now. That's the reason that property is not selling, because they don't know how to sell it. And you're going to keep following up with them a couple of times, another couple of times. Make sure it's at least five times, because that's what the research shows. Okay. So the question is, these for sale by owner, are they hard to close? Absolutely not. The issue here is that the seller thinks that they can do your job, but they don't know that they actually need your help, right? So their stats, number one stat is that that same property, the example that we're giving you for $800,000. Guess what? When he's not able to sell that property at $800,000 and everything else is selling around 750, what do you think he's going to go with? It's going to be around 750 or below, because he doesn't have the negotiation skills. He just has it. He said, "Hey, there's no offers coming in, and now I'm desperate. I want to sell it." Maybe he'll go with lower. And that's the reason you see that, hey, for sale by owners, homes sell for 10 to 25% less than those are listed with a realtor. Why? Because the realtor is doing the research. Okay. And most for sale by owners give up on their by the second weekend of open houses. They just, like you mentioned, maybe they watch the TV show. Hey, I'll just host an open house. I'll have it line out the door, and I should be able to sell my house in no time. But that is not the case. And look at this stat. It actually made me laugh that 50% or more than 50% of the for sale by owners sellers cried at some point during the sale process. You have an $800,000 property or X amount of money property, you should not be crying through this process. They should be hiring a real estate agent like yourself to help them out. You want to show these stats to them, right? These things that we're showing you guys, these are all coming in from different stats, and just you want to make sure that you're giving those to them, even through screenshots or whatnot. Okay, and don't think that they hate realtors, right? They just feel like they can do your job. Once you start talking to them and telling them, "Hey, I want to be that helping hand. Let's go through your, breakdown of what's going to be the takeaway amount after selling this property. Did you know about your transfer tax? Did you know that it's not like you're just trying to avoid your paying me, which is the listing agent, but guess what? There are other expenses. Let me give you a full breakdown, and let's set a goal. If your goal is to take X amount of money, let me see what's the best way of doing it, keeping it very realistic. If it's not possible, it's not possible. Then we can't list it at that price. I have done my research. I'm giving you all the breakdowns of all the takeaways, right? This is going to be the final takeaway amount, so there's no surprises to you at the closing table. What else would a seller would want? Tell them, hey, when the showing time comes, I'm the one who's scheduling everything for you. You just simply tell me your and your spouse's schedule, and I'm gonna schedule everything accordingly. Open houses. You want me to host open houses only on Saturday and not on Sundays? I can do that. Whatever the case is, I'm working with you, Mr. Seller, to make sure that we can sell this property as quickly as possible for the top dollar, and so this way you don't have any headaches. Okay? So next time you see a for sale by owner sign, just take some action, guys. Okay. All right, guys. Next is that some of our agents ask for the commitment letter. They say, hey, I have a pre-approval. I don't know what commitment letter looks like, but I'm under contract, and the listing agent is asking me, hey, do I have a commitment letter from my buyers? So a commitment letter is a mortgage lender's formal letter to the borrower, states that, hey, their intention is to lend them this money. Maybe the borrower is looking for $500,000 loan, $1 million loan. Hey, the commitment letter says that, hey, we're willing to offer this person a $500,000 loan, but we want to make sure that these conditions are satisfied. Once we have this commitment letter, right? Once we have this, that satisfy your condition or your contingency on the contract. So if your client wants to back out after this, there might be some issues. Okay? Instead of a commitment letter, they can get a denial letter or deny letter. That means they're not able to get the mortgage. And if they want to back out now because the lender is not giving them the mortgage, then if the contract has that contingency, they can get their money back. So the lender or the attorneys will come into the game when this actually happens. But just remember, commitment letter is when the lender is simply saying, "Hey, we're willing to lend your client this much money, amount of money, and this is what we need from them, right? As conditions." At what stage should you expect this commitment letter? This commitment letter comes in once both parties have signed their contract, right? The buyer signed it, then it went to the seller signed it. Now it's fully executed contract. Now that fully executed contract obviously goes to the both attorneys and to the loan officer, and the loan officer gets the application started. So really depending on what type of lender that they're going with, and once the application is in, a commitment letter should be issued within 48 to 72 hours. There are some lenders might take about a week, but it should be no longer than a week. Okay? So when should you expect this? Once it's fully executed contract and we have a file going with the mortgage loan officer, and the loan officer says, hey, I have a commitment letter for you, which I'm going to send it to your attorney as well. Okay? How long should it take? Really depending on the lender. We have done it within 24 hours, on average 48 hours, and there are some lenders that will do it up to 7 days. Okay? So guys, when we're talking to our clients and we're telling them, hey, Mr. Bob, Miss Smith, if you want me to, you want to work with me, I need you to sign this agreement. Nobody wants to sign it unless you actually explain the whole buying process. They're a first-time home buyer. They really need to know what it really takes to buy a house. You want to set your expectations, right? Hey, this is what's really involved, and you want to address any of their concerns. Say, hey, this is the time to ask me any questions that you have. Hey, if you don't know about the title company, I'm giving you a full breakdown of the title company. You don't know how much attorney charges or average, this is the average I'm giving you. How much a survey costs, when does the survey comes in, I'm giving you that breakdown. And if they're looking for in South Ocean Park here or in Jamaica, Queens, I want to show them properties that have been recently sold in that area, right? What is available, that as well, but what is sold as well. Right, hey, this one was sold last week for this price. This one was sold a month ago at this price. This is what's available at this price. Okay? And you want to be that person. Even I'm on the same way when we're training our new agents. Hey, the next step is you're in this stage right now. The next step is this. Every client would love that. Hey, I'm going to tell you what is the next step is at every step of the way. Right? We are home inspection. I'm going to tell you what the next step is. We have done your appraisal. I'm going to tell you what the next step is. Okay? Every time you want to mention that, hey, I'm going to be that guide for you where I'm telling you, hey, what's the next step for you? Okay? So what is the process? We have our buyer's presentation. When we're giving that presentation, then we're asking them the questionnaire. Hey, which area you want to be in? How many bedrooms? Right there, you want to set up and add them in KV Core and set up alerts. And right in front of them, you want to fill out on your transaction desk the buyer's template, send them the agreement, even if they don't sign it right away. And then your goal is to, hey, get these documents signed and let's get the showing started. And you want to be showing until I'm under contract. Okay? It's easy to say, hard to do. I'm aware of that. but those are the steps. If any of your client is not following those, that means they're not serious. Anybody that have been waiting for a couple of years for the interest rates to come down and everything, they're gonna be signing your agreement. Okay. So every meeting we're mentioning this piece right here because it's super important. We all need to be on the same page. If your agreement is at 2% and the listing agent is offering you 1.5%, that means you can only take 0.5% from your buyer. Okay, because 1.5 is coming from the listing side. And if it's the other way around, if your agreement is at 1.5% and the listing agent is offering you 2, you can still only accept 1.5 unless you have a revised buyer's agreement. Okay? And you can tell your client, hey, I understand. If it's a first-time home buyer, you should tell them, hey, I understand that you have your down payment, you have your closing cost, and now you got to worry about me. But we can structure my commission in 3 different ways. We can, if you do want to pay from your pocket, I'm going to put a lower offer price. Instead of $500,000, I'm going to offer them 490 or 485. How does that sound? Or if you want me to put $500,000 full, we can ask the seller to pay for it. If the seller pays, that's great. That means you don't have to pay me. Or we can put it in the offer. So we can put in an offer for 510 and get $10,000 back, and the seller will actually end up with $500,000. So there's different ways of structuring this. Every agent should know this concept, right? Because it's over a month now that these rules are in effect, and we want to make sure that every one of us can confidently talk to our clients and get paid and tell them how we're going to get paid. Okay. Next, guys, your MLS fees, right? We dropped about 3 agents just a few days ago just because they couldn't pay the MLS fees. And I respect that. It's perfectly fine. Real estate is not for everyone. If you're not able to make your MLS fees payments on time, we do have to release you. And later on, if you want to join whenever you can afford it, it's perfectly fine. But we need to make sure that all the fees are paid, which is going to be $596 by September 30th. If it's not, we do have to release you. Okay, that is one of the toughest things because we are trying to grow our team. But at the same time, if you're not able to make the payment, they will suspend the whole office. So MLS suspends the whole office even if one agent is outstanding on their payment. Okay. Next, guys, I want to give big ups to our 2 agents, Rahul, for closing this deal in Farmingdale and for AP for closing this lot that's in Lawrenton, right? Again, when we're talking about the investor, this is the same deal that AP got, and he bought another property. The investor bought another property right after selling this one. So you don't know, hey, when you're going to get this client, where they're going to be buying, selling, and doing the whole 9 yards with you just based on your customer service. Okay. So for the loans, guys, we are closing loans in Albany. We're closing loan in different states like Michigan here. We closed 2 deals. That was 2 brothers bought on the same bought 2 houses on the same block, and we're helping them in Indiana as well. So if you have clients in other states, we can help them out. But for New York, we can definitely help all your clients there. Okay. And you want to ask yourself, hey, how many leads do I have? How many leads do I actually want to work with? Right? Not everybody has the capacity of following up with 50 or 100 leads every day, right? We just don't. You want to work with like, hey, these are the leads I have who are really serious. Let me pay attention to them. Let me make sure that I'm showing them properties, right? Do you need more leads? Let's just say your database, we have few agents who are just joining and their leads database is less than 10. And that is not enough to make a good living out of real estate because out of those 10, maybe all 10 of them will say, hey, this is a bad market, right? This is not the right time to buy. So will that agent actually give up on their license just because of those 10 leads? Absolutely not. We need more leads. Okay. If you have too much, filter. If you need more, then you ask for office leads. I know those are 60-40 leads, 60% to you, 40% to the office. But again, those are good source to get your ball rolling. If you're advertising on Zillow or Realtor.com, that's really good, right? You want to be able to get more leads when it's necessary. Okay. And when it comes to loan options, guys, You want to be that guide. Yes, we would love their business, but we want your client to go elsewhere as well and compare different rates, different terms with at least two or three different lenders. Okay. We got a good team for our real estate team already, and now we have a great team for our loan officers who are closing loans, right? So you want to connect with them, even if you have any loan question for FHA conventional. So, you guys can reach out to them and connect with them. Okay. We have about three or four agents who are on regular basis are sending us a address, simple address, and saying, "Hey, I want you to do the comps for us," and we have no problem doing it. And I want more agents to do that, right? Just simply send us the address. It could be in Teams, it could be a regular text message. Hey, what would the banker do an appraisal for? Right? What is the value you guys have? So you have an additional source to compare, for that particular property. It could be for the for sale by owners, as we mentioned. It could be for the offer that you're about to put in. Hey, I just want to make sure that the bank will be, giving you a value around that price point that we're thinking about putting an offer for. It'll be a range, right? Sometimes we'll say like this one here for 865 to 1.1 is a huge gap, but in the middle we'll tell you, hey, it's around $1 million, right? So you just have an additional source. Just send us the address and we'll give you a PDF file which you can forward to your clients as well because it will give you all the breakdown, all the comps, and it's really professional. It takes us a few seconds to do. So send us the address. Okay. So guys, remember the interest rates are coming down, inventory is increasing, buyers are back in the market, and they're ready to close or they're ready to purchase, right, in next 3 months, 6 months. The question is, are you guys ready to help them out? Okay. You got to ask yourself that, and you want to be able to help them out much as possible. Okay. That'll do it from my end, guys. Any questions, comments, any feedback? All right, guys. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining. I will see you guys next time. You guys can message or send me an email, text message, doesn't matter. Any topics that you guys want to go over. For sale by owner was topic by recommended from our agents as well. Otherwise, thank you guys. You guys take care, all right?